This is the field of 68. I'm Vince Wolfram.
I'm Jojo Cavanagh in Auburn, Alabama. And this
is Straight Out the Jungle. Welcome back to Straight Out the Jungle. My name is Vince Wolfram.
I'm Jojo Cavanagh.
Today we have a guest that is an Auburn favorite. Mr. 44, Mr. Auburn, Mr. Jumbotron Man. Welcome to the show, Dylan Cardwell.
Shout out Tyler Hansborough.
Shout out to Tyler Hansborough, not what I expected to hear today. Welcome to the show. We're very excited to have you. This has been one I've been looking forward to. I know we all have, and the Auburn faithful have been asking you as well. So thanks for joining us. 1,684 days ago, you arrived at Auburn. In 5 more days, you will be playing your last game at Neville Arena.
Yep.
How real is that?
Very. You know, for me, I kind of came to terms with it early, especially last year. I thought last year was my last season. And so I kind of already went through the mental strain of like, oh man, this is emotional. It's my last time playing Auburn. And so for me, I mean, it hasn't really hit yet, I guess you could say, because I already experienced these, you know, these emotions last year. Because I already had made up in my heart and my mind that I was going to be done. But the Lord kind of brought me back here. So, you know, I think a part of me is like, you know, ready for the next chapter. It has been fun here at Auburn. But, you know, I've been here for like 5 years, so.
Another guy who's been here 5 years, Simo, we just talked with him and we talked about how you guys are veterans. Makes you leaders in the locker room that these younger players look up to. What is the most important quality for you as a leader?
Man, just being bold, really. I remember when I first started to get out and step out and take that kind of leap of faith of leadership. I always thought like, man, like these people are going to be worried if I stutter or if I, you know, don't say the right thing. And, you know, when you're in a game and it's tight and there's all that emotion, no one really cares if you mess up on your words because they understand where the heart is coming from, where the message is coming from. And so for me, it was just important to be bold and just, you know, call it how I see it.
After Maui, you talked about how the relationship between you and Janai had upgraded. But before the season, during the summer, talk to me about the promising idea, how it came about of you and Janai playing simultaneously.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I saw you and BP's interview about how, you know, we're going to play together or whatever, but we only played together 3 times over the whole, you know what I'm saying, the fall and the summer. So I just want to say, hey, BP, like, you know what I mean, they got a little shake. Me and Janai were like, is this ever going to happen? Because we never got to play together. We only got to play together 3 practices. And so we were just like, man, like, is this ever going to, like, is this going to happen? We were concerned. We didn't know what was going to happen at all. Our first time like genuinely playing together was the Furman scrimmage, and so we had no idea what it was going to be like because we never thought it was possible because it never happened in practice. And so when we were in practice and we did play together, it was just bad because, you know, we didn't have any chemistry and we never got to figure it out. And so it's just funny how we have so much chemistry yet we didn't play together at all the whole summer. It just comes naturally, and it's been fun.
You guys have started alongside each other basically this entire season now and experiencing all the highs and the lows of this season. How has your relationship gotten stronger?
Yeah, man, just really competitive. It's really one of those where we can, you know, check each other, and then another relationship, part of the relationship is just, man, like uplifting each other, you know, just taking the time where it's like, man, like if he's frustrated, if I'm frustrated, it's just like, just speaking a word of encouragement, just being there at the right time. We're like brothers in a sense, and so it's been real fun to see the maturity and the growth of our relationship as friends and as brothers and as teammates. And so I wouldn't play with another guy in the country, you know, as my foreman outside of Chaney Johnson as well. Those 2 are like, you know, I can't pick between the 2, but I love both of them equally. But those 2 guys and Turtle, I'd pick them 3 over anybody in the country.
You talked about the beginning of the year when you guys played together for the first time. It was bad.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you felt, oh, this is nice, like this is working?
Yeah, I mean, no, not in practice.
Okay. In game?
In game, yeah. I want to say Georgia last year. Yeah. It was just like,
I was about to say that was a brief little bit that you guys played together. Good glimpse of it.
When J-Will was out, it was me and him and me and Janai and Chaney. It was a 3-man rotation. Like, this is easy, you know. Like they got the 4-man guard in me, or they got the 4-man guard in Janai. They can't pick between the 2. You know, if you put the 4-man on Janai, he's gonna score every time. You put the 4-man on me, I'm gonna get every offensive rebound. And so I was just, man, it's just really easy. And so it's hard to scout. It's hard to compete against. But if you watch, you know, the Final Four of last year, every team had 2 bigs. You know, NC State had 2 bigs. Purdue had 2 bigs with Trey Kaufman and obviously Zach Edey. So for a deep tournament run, Alabama, 2 bigs. So like I said, for a deep tournament run, I think, you know, the writing was on the wall, like, hey, you have to play big, especially in the NCAA, to win games.
Bruce Pearl said that you should get more attention for a Defensive Player of the Year. He said, and I quote, You're one of the best defenders, or if not the best defender in our league, in the SEC. Yeah. What do you think your biggest impact is defensively on the floor?
Yeah, man, just aura. I think people just see me at the basket and just like, man, that's an intimidation factor. But, I just think for me, what separates me from most players in the country is that I can guard, 1 through 5, and I'm always in the right spots. I'm in the gaps. Yeah, my stats might not be there as far as, getting enough blocks, getting enough steals, but I'm in the right place at the right time, walling up, altering shots. It's not often I'm getting scored on. And so it's a huge compliment, but it's something that I've always, hung my hat on since I got here at Auburn. I believe I am one of the best defensive players of the year, best defensive players in the country. I got to give a big shout out to dude from Tennessee though, Meshack. I mean, that dude right there, he's different. He's like Drew Holiday, and so I would love to compete against him, for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. But as far as overall impact, I mean, there's no better player in the country than myself at defense.
And you believe it, we believe it. But last year, if you told me you were on that podium, I would ask, how did you recognize that your ceiling and your potential was higher?
I don't think anything changed. I think playing time changed, really. When Jabari was here, I was 4th or 5th in the SEC in block shots, and I played, 12 minutes a game. Last year, I've always been top 5 in block shots in the SEC, even this year. But, something I've always hung my hat on. And so I think the only difference between last year and this year, or years past and this year, really just more playtime, more opportunity. Yeah. Nothing really changed for me. Mm-hmm. I think one of my best years, defensively, especially 1 through 5, was my sophomore year. Because we had a coach here who was, his name was Brandon Buskey. He was the one who was like, all right, we're gonna learn how to guard on the wing, guard on the perimeter. And that was the year I felt like I was moving the best on the wing and stuff. And so that year I was like, man, I really am good. And so like I said, it was just, for me, it was more like, all right, just more playing time, really.
Yeah, and with more playing time, like you said, came more opportunity. And I think one of your biggest strengths is that you played to your strengths on many different levels. Yeah. How focused are you on not necessarily doing things that might show up in the stat sheet, but doing the right thing in the style of play that Auburn basketball likes to play?
Well, I mean, look at the guys like, the Draymond Greens of the world, Dennis Rodman. I mean, these guys don't fill the stat sheet per se, but you can't win without them. And that's kind of what I wanted to be. I wanted to be like one of those guys you just can't take out of the game. Like, you have to have them on the floor. And so for me, I was like, all right, what can I do really good? And I realized I was one of the most physical players in the country, strongest players in the country, best defender in the country. I was good at setting screens, good at getting my guys open and being unselfish. And I'm like, well, no one wants to do the dirty work. And to make it to the NBA, I mean, they already have the LeBrons and the Lukas and, the scores. They don't need all that. They don't need someone that's so ball dominant. And so how can I differentiate myself and be attractive, per se, to the next level? And that's why I decided to hang my hat on, really.
You turn the littlest plays into the biggest celebrations in the jungle. To me, it's kind of a battle between you and Chad on who hypes up the jungle the most. Yeah. What makes the jungle so special?
Man, the jungle's special because they're just there. Like, really, like, man.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
No, literally, like
they do be there.
Literally, they make every play seem like it's the best play ever. So for me, it was like, oh, I mean, if y'all gonna hype up a steal, sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? And so they're the ones that kind of made it normal to celebrate after every play, because they get so loud and so intense. And so for me, I was like, man, like, all right, if we're gonna celebrate a block, let's celebrate a block. If we're gonna celebrate me passing the ball, like I made a 3 short, why not? And so they celebrate every single play, and it's so important to us as a team and as a community as well. So I enjoy the jungle a lot.
When you look back at your time playing in Neville Arena and the jungle, what most electric moments come to mind?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I think last year was my best year, just energy-wise. LSU, when I blocked 2 shots and ran on the court like a madman, and yeah. And then obviously the USC game was one of my most energetic games, but Ole Miss, golly, like last year was like, man, like all that stuff was just crazy. But it all started my freshman year, December 15th. We played some burgundy team, I think Texas Southern or something, and I got a charge, and I literally got a charge. My only charge in college probably, got a charge. And there's a GIF out there, or a GIF, whatever you want to call it, and I'm like throwing, doing this I'm like throwing fists and, yelling the whole way on the court for like 15 seconds. And after that, Stephen Pearl was like, man, like, I didn't know you were crazy. I'm going to expect that every time you play now. And so ever since that, I've just been yelling and roaring and flying around and just having fun.
So, like a bunch of dogs in COVID, and that's what happens.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's kind of where it all started my freshman year.
You have the chance this season to become the winningest player in Auburn men's basketball history, breaking Jalen Williams' record. What would that mean to you to have your name forever cemented in Auburn history?
Man, it means the world to me. Like, something I can kind of just tell my kids, like, hey, you know, even though I cheated the system, I was here for 5 years, like, I am the winningest player in Auburn history. I mean, that's something that's probably never going to be reached again unless someone has, 6 years. I don't mean to be off the record, y'all, but, like, who's counting Jay Will's freshman season? I'm just saying.
That's exactly what Simo said.
He had a lot of DNPs. Yeah, I'm just saying, he had a lot of DNPs. Jay Will, if you're out there, my boy, I love you to death. Like, we locked in. Twin. But it's an inside thing between me and his mom. But anyways, look, AJ Will, I love you to death. You're my boy. But I mean, we had the same, 4-year span from 2020 to whatever it's called, 2024, when you graduated. And then my last year, my senior year, statistically, like, we have 2 losses is better than his freshman year. So who's doing the math? And his freshman year got cut short because of COVID. So I just want to say, like, if whoever's in the Auburn community doing the math, I probably, in games played and games won, I think I've only missed, thank the Lord for longevity, thank the Lord for my durability. I've only missed 2 games, one to the ankle sprain and one because of COVID. I don't understand how I haven't surpassed him a year ago. That's all I'm saying. Jay, well, there's nothing personal between you and me, but, if it comes down to legacies, you have a great legacy, but I got to differentiate myself somehow. You know what I'm saying? You can have points, you can have all that stuff, all the swag, number 2, hanging the Raptors, yes, sir. But just let me have the wins. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking for. So I don't know who's counting, but whoever's counting, they got to come see me, because you look at ESPN app, out of 30 games, you only weigh like 12 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. If being a part of the team, I get it, but I'm just saying.
I don't know if you ever tuned into Big Talk. Dylan Cardwell effect takes play when an ISO shot begins and Dylan starts looking at the camera like this. That's usually what that is. So
yeah, I wasn't expecting from
well, welcome to crossover season, I suppose. Hey.
No, but for me, it just means the world to have the opportunity to cement myself in Auburn history. This is such a rich place and something like a university that I love to death, obviously. And it means the world for me to really just be important. I mean, BP's the all-time winningest coach. It's like, oh man, he's the all-time winningest coach. Well, guess what? All-time winningest player. And it's like, wow, like, it's something that you don't really think about when you go to school. It's not something that you like, oh, I'm gonna be here 5 years. But looking back on it, I'm grateful that I stayed in Auburn so long, and I have the opportunity to, if I'm at a tailgate, winningest player all time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
tailgate hero.
Come on now. So Auburn, y'all will be getting sick of me. It might put in my bio. Most all-time winningest player in Auburn history, me. Thank the Lord though. But yeah, it means a lot to me, and it shows the growth of this program and how BP has turned it from, the worst coaching job in the SEC, in 2013, 2014, to the premier place for every student in the country and every family in the country.
Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Bruce Pearl? How has that grown over the past 5 years?
Man, it feels like a chart. You know what I'm saying? XY axis. At first, it was like, a little. And like sophomore year, it was like that. And then like junior year, it was like that again. And then like senior year, it was like, okay, we're up and up. And then it kind of plateaued my senior year. After my senior year, we had like a 3-hour, 4-hour long conversation, man. And we were just being open and vulnerable. And I told him like everything that, I just get everything off my chest. I was like, here's some things that I'm harboring, some things that hurt me that I was harboring. And he accepted these things. And he's like, man, like I apologize. I didn't know you felt that way. And he's like, I'm gonna do a better job of trying to coach you. And ever since then, my play took off. And our relationship really took off to where it's like we're hanging out all the time. We're going to church together. We eat lunch sometimes together, rarely. But he's just a guy I could just pick up the phone and call and be like, oh, what's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Saying, hey, like he's like a grandfather position for me. And he's a great dude to know. But he's just one of those guys. He just take care of you. And obviously, he rewards loyalty. And I love him to death. And so it's just a real cool guy. I also wanted to give him a shout out. Like, everybody thinks I'm the greatest Auburn man. I'm the perfect example. But Bruce Pearl was that example for me. And so he's the reason like I carry myself how I carry myself at Auburn, because he kind of showed me the ropes, being involved in the community, shaking everybody's hand, taking the time out of your day to be here, be there, be everywhere at once. Like, that was Bruce Pearl. And I just looked at the script and I'm like, all right, this is easy. You know what I'm saying? And so he showed me the way more than anything, how to be an Auburn man. And I just took it and ran with it and made my own little thing about it. And it's just been fun to be in the likes of Bruce Pearl in the community.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's just cool to hear. And I'm sure for you, it's a cool spot to be in too.
Yeah. most def. I will say, for all the fans out there, stop giving BP credit for the shirt off in the Jumbotron. That was me. That was me first. That's something I do not play about. Every time a fan sees me like, yo, it was so funny when Bruce Pearl and the guys took their shirt off. I'm like, yeah, it kind of was, but it was also funnier like 4 weeks in advance than, the dude that originated. That was me. And so, that's the only thing I really give people crap for. So I'm like, hey, I was the originator. Like, it wasn't Bruce. You know what I'm saying? So cool story about that. I was in the weight room one time. He came up to me. He was like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? That's how he talks.
Yo, Dylan,
but
what's
he
happening?
was like, hey, do you want to, would it be cool if I joined you and took off my shirt? Like, he was working out, getting ready for the moment. Like, he was preparing. Like, he was really doing some chest pumps and push-ups. I'm like, okay, he's serious, bro.
Yeah.
He asked me, he was like, hey, can a couple of guys and myself take our shirts off? And like, he wanted to create a dance with it too. I'm like, so he wanted to do that. Like, he originated, like, I did the dance earlier, but he had the idea of like, we're gonna do this as a group, and then we're gonna take our shirts off. And so, but he came to me, he asked, and I was like, man, this is dope, a dope idea. And then I didn't know Cam Newton was gonna come in the picture either. So I'm like, golly, but it's such a great moment in Auburn history. A moment's gonna be in here probably for the rest of time. And so I'm just grateful to be a part of that as well.
Yeah, looking ahead, since you've been here, Auburn hasn't made it past the second round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that first weekend was tough, y'all. It's tough.
This team, although it's a projected one seed team, it's hard to win in March. So what is it going to take to overcome that hurdle that they haven't made in years past?
I think you got to win ugly. I think that's the biggest thing, is winning ugly. I think last year's team, we didn't know how to win ugly. We blew teams out, by double digits multiple times. Like, we had 15-point wins multiple times. And when games got tight, we were just like, it's kind of scary. This year's team is like, man, we're going into games down 1 with a minute left, and we're pulling it out. And that's not something that's normal. And to do it against, the Alabamas of the world and do it against the Tennessees of the world, it's like it separates us and it gives us the preparation that we need. Like the game against Iowa State, it was the tone setter for the rest of the year. And so I think that's the biggest difference of having those reps of being in really tight situations with things on the line. Whereas last year's team, like I said, we weren't used to that at all. And when the game got tight against Yale, it was like, all right, we don't know who's gonna step up, hit the last shot. We don't know who's gonna be our Kobe per se. Now it's like we know who's the clutch guy. We know who to give the ball to. We know what we're gonna run. And so this year's team is prepared to win games ugly in March. That's what you saw with the 2019 Final Four team. Yeah, they blew out Kansas and Kentucky and North Carolina. They blew them all out. But the first game, was one of those where they were like, all right, it was an ugly win. They almost lost. And so all it takes is one good win to get your momentum and your swagger. And that's something that we kind of haven't had yet in my time here at Auburn. But I'm excited for the opportunity.
Last week even, Georgia and Arkansas, 2 games where it was like there was a gut punch at some point. But like you said, you had to fight to win those games.
Yep.
How much did that teach this team, like in that piece that you're looking for, that you mentioned you're looking for?
Yeah, it's something you don't know you need until you got it for real. You look at that 2019 team, like they didn't know they needed that until I think they got punched in the mouth against Kentucky. I want to say at the end of the regular season or whatever, and they went on 5 straight to close, and they beat 3 straight teams and whatever, and the SEC tournament, and they beat X amount of teams going to the Final Four, but I think they got that confidence because they're like, all right, we played this close game against Mexico State. We have new life, and how are we going to continue to just fight through? They lose Chuma in the Elite 8 or Sweet 16 or whatever, but they're still fighting. And so we lost Janai, we still were fighting. And so this team has learned so much, but it's not something you need until you got it. It just comes really without even. It's not something you need. It's really crazy because there's been no team I've been on at Auburn, it's like we just had a close game. Like my sophomore year, we were blowing teams out. We were number 1 in the country, just blowing teams out. And when the game got close, we didn't know how to respond. Junior year, we were just bad. Sophomore year, we were just too good to a point where we were just blowing teams out. But when the game got close, we didn't know what to do. And it's just experience. This team is really experienced, and we've had a ramped up amount of experience, exponentially because of our strength of schedule.
Yeah, confidence and fight certainly jump off the page. And in a win like Alabama, you're in the prayer circle after the game. You say, yo, act like we're number 1. When you say act like we're number 1, what does that look like?
Man, I know I don't have the right to be saying that sometimes because, I'm flamboyant. Your boy likes to celebrate with the best of them. But in a situation like that.
Moments.
Yeah, I have my moments. But in a situation like that, when the game is over, we had a Bible study beforehand talking about honoring God in our wins. And I was not happy about how we carried ourselves after we beat Ole Miss, where we're, whooping air. We call it BTA. I didn't like that at all because it looks bad on camera, A. It looks like we're showboating, B. And then C, it just gives the other team something to come in and, we got to get our revenge. We got to, you know what I'm saying? And so for us, I beat a Bible study the day before. I'm like, hey, y'all, we win tomorrow. Let's just walk out. I recall Dan Lanning, when he was at Oregon, he said, we're not going to talk trash. We're going to call timeout and look at everybody leave. And I shared that story with the team. We don't need to crane because it's 4 years old now. Let's find something new. It's
old news a little bit.
Exactly. And so for us, I was like, our revenge just needs to be at the end of the game, watching everybody that cussed you out, called you out of your name, called you everything crazy, that camped out for this. Let's just watch them leave. That should be our get back. We shouldn't go to the student section and get in their face. Watch them leave. We just ruined their Saturday. We took away their championship. We took away their number 1 overall seed. We just took everything away from them. Why are we trying to showboat? And so for us, for me, playing like you're number 1 in the country just means getting the job done, looking at everybody leave, and just celebrating with your teammate, celebrating with your teammates rather than trying to be get a good picture for Instagram.
Yeah.
I was young before. I did the same thing, and I think that's something I wish I learned earlier. Was just it's cool to have those moments, to do the crane and trash talk and have one up on the rivalry. But at the end of the day, did that crane give me a national championship? No. You know what I'm saying? We got a second round exit, and so it's just what is this crane gonna do, or what is celebrating and showboating after games gonna do? Nothing, and so it just gives people more fire to come back in the comment section and be like, dang, y'all lost to Yale. Dang, y'all lost to this person. Y'all lost to that person. I didn't get as far. And so for us, I just want to handle business. Let's be hype, celebrate with our crowd, celebrate with our people. But let's not go to opposing people, the crowd, talk trash. And that's just, what I'm saying, let's not be front runners. Let's just respect the game, honor the game, and honor God.
Yeah, and I want to jump on that point too, because the celebration this year has been called God.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, you have to respect it and live it as well.
I agree.
Does it keep your team accountable?
It does. That's a great word to use. It is accountability, because in Bible study, that's what I said. We can't imagine a 10-year-old watching us. One day we're calling God, the next day we're whipping. That's a terrible example for the youth. And so the Lord has given us so much grace. You look at our season, we're a couple possessions from losing, 5, 6, 7 games, couple possessions. This team has the Lord's grace on it, and that's something I will say. But there's a verse we went over in the Bible study before the Alabama game. I don't know where it's at, but it says the Lord opposes the proud, but He rewards the humble. And so I'm the moment we step out of the Lord's grace, the moment we start to showboat and go talk trash to the opposing players, talk trash to the opponent people, the opponent fans, that's the moment that we're out of the Lord's grace, and we can get punched in the mouth real quick. You saw that with Ole Miss. We got out we were calling God at halftime, but after the game was over, we were BTA, talking trash to the fans, We come back home and we get whipped by Florida. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I was just look, we got too hot. We got, you know what I'm saying, too
caught up.
Too caught up, and look what happened. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I'm saying. We get way too high sometimes, and I'm just here to be hey, this is another regular season game. Just get over it. We can't celebrate it how you think we can, because we have a really tough conference, and you saw that with Florida, and I hope you don't see it again.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I was meant by, hey, let's carry ourselves like we're number 1. We've been here before. We beat Iowa State. We competed with Duke. We won Maui. We beat all these crazy teams. Let's not get away from what got us here, which was being humble. And we don't want to ever disrespect people in a way that offends them. But at the end of the day, we got to respect God and honor God. And so we're not honoring God by talking trash or crazy actions. We're honoring God by how we carry ourselves and how we represent Him in the wins and the losses as well.
Definitely, and that's the leader in you coming out there. And 2, looking and acting like number 1 is one thing. Finishing the year and your last chance to finish the year as number 1 is another.
Yep.
I know that you see the light at the end of this tunnel. What are your emotions right now, sort of as the tournament season is gearing up?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's just seizing every opportunity. It could be over like that. I don't think people understand that. It's when that final buzzer hits, it's and a lot of us don't have a door back to Auburn, don't have a door back to college. And so it's really when, not even go home, but move on. We're moving on in life. Like you're winning. You got to win or you're done. Your eligibility is out. And so that's the kind of pressure that I am under mentally. It's like, man, like it's over. Like, it could be over. Like 2 more games we're promised. In NCAA, one NCAA tournament. You could have 6 games left, or you could have 12 games left. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. And so I try to get these guys to buy in and not go through the emotions and practice, because at the end of the day, like, we only have so many practices left. Where you're going to look back on your 10 years from now, like, man, I miss those practices. Well, why not extend them? Why not
get some more?
Exactly. And so I'm trying to give guys that, the vision of like, you don't look back at this and be like, man, I wish I did this earlier, And so I just want our season to be prolonged. National championship. I just want to play for a national championship. That'd be a dream for me, just to be able to compete for it. Winning it is great, but I just want to be able to compete for it.
Been at Auburn 5 years. You've become kind of the face of Auburn University. So
Yep.
to me, you know better than almost anyone else. What makes Auburn home?
Man, what makes Auburn home is just as different. That's the only I can describe. That's one word I can use to describe Auburn. It's just different. You wear that orange and blue with the AU logo on your chest, like you're family. Like, you can walk into any tailgate, oh, what's up? Who are you? Where are you from? It's Southern hospitality, but like, we're all of the Auburn family. I think that differentiates Auburn from everywhere else in the country. I've always felt at home because I go to church and people are asking me, offering me like, oh, do you want like a home cooked meal? Like, I know you miss home. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just really crazy. Like, how people just love on and care for each other as long as you're in that Auburn orange and blue. Like, nothing is transactional. Every meeting that you have is intentional, and you've seen people get promotions or get these connections only due to the logo. Because like, I know you're Auburn man, you're Auburn woman. I know what you stand for. I know like who you are, and it's just crazy the aura that Auburn has. You can't spell aura without AU.
Bar.
But for real. But no, Auburn's different, and we're in a different echelon around the country. That's something I truly believe in. I've gotten War Eagles in San Diego. I've gotten War Eagles in Los Angeles and in Washington, New York. Everywhere I've been, I've gotten a War Eagle. So it's crazy how far and wide the Auburn network spans, and that's something you don't see with any other school, especially not, the border states.
True. When you play your last game
Yep.
in Neville Arena, you want to be remembered how?
Man, just a light, for real. Just a light and a joy. So a champion of life. That's my word of the year. Not even word of the year, word of life. I want to be a guy that's just known for just loving life and getting the most out of it. I hope that people learn from my college experience is like, you can meet whoever, they can be your best friend. Like, you can have the experience. You don't have to, shove your nose in a book and, lock yourself in your room. Don't be afraid to just sit by somebody at Village Dining or at the Edge. Don't be afraid to just reach out and say, oh, hey, I'm XYZ. How are you doing? Because I've met the funniest people by inconvenience. I was like, not even inconvenience, but like I wasn't even planning to be places, and I met the funniest people. And so I think that's the biggest thing I want to be remembered for, is that Auburn is being a champion of life, someone who just loves being alive. Mm-hmm. But someone who just never has a bad day. I do have my bad days, I do. But being at Auburn is really hard to have a bad day, only because Auburn is something, like I said, it's a special place.
We'll take that light into this next segment, where we are going to highlight all kinds of things, and we're going to do so in a fun way. What is Jumbotron worthy and what is not? Now, this is going to require a couple things of you. You're either going to say yes or no and describe why. So we're going to give you something, and you're going to say whether or not it's Jumbotron worthy. Are you ready?
All right. Wait, let me stretch real quick.
Okay. Getting ready.
Right.
You let us know when you're ready.
All right, I think I'm ready.
Is Oregon Jumbotron worthy?
No, not at all. Like, I really didn't think about it, but no. I mean, just don't think they're Jumbotron. I just don't think so.
Just that easy.
Yeah, I mean, no, I just know, like, what are they going to do at Jumbotron? That's my thing. Like, all they're going to do is stand there. They don't have dance moves. They don't have anything to prepare for, so they can't flex. That's our thing. So what are they going to do? Just stand like this? Like, they can't do anything. So no, they're not Jumbotron worthy at all.
Okay.
They're great guys, though. But
Okay.
Great competitors, great basketball players. But what are they going to do when the Jumbotron camera's on them? I don't know.
Good dudes, not enough good for the Jumbotron.
Not good enough.
All right.
So that leads to mine. Strong gang, Jumbotron Worthy.
Yes. Because we
God, you
flex.
alley-oop that and he just
Come on now. You know why? Because look at the last time the whole team on the Jumbotron. Whole lot of flexing.
BP flexing.
BP flex. BP strong gang. Look at my boy. Look at my boy. Come on now. BP. Come on now. But no, I mean the whole team was flexing. That whole team right that year was strong gang. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think we had anybody that was aura. We had some dogs. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, strong gang. To put it short and sweet, even though it's a long answer. Strong gang could be Jumbotron, whatever. Yes.
Worthy. Got it. You shooting more threes, is that Jumbotron Worthy?
Yes and no. You know, before the Ole Miss game last time, I was like, man, I'm shooting 100%. Just give me the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let it ride. But then we played Ole Miss. I shot that bad boy, fade away. I'm like, oh, that's good. Oh no, but it was a lob.
It was a beautiful
They
assist.
shouldn't even have counted it.
Yep,
but
yep.
top of the key, you know what I'm saying? On the right slot, I gotta be 4 for 4, 3 for 3. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be 3 for 3. You know, Georgia, Missouri, who else? Oh, Maui, whatever, Memphis. Like I'm 3 for 3 right there. I haven't missed right there. So that's my spot. Let me give me the ball, BP. Give me the ball. Let me cook. That, you know what? Top. You know what I'm saying? Top of the key, right slot is Jumbotron.
It
is. Everywhere else, I don't know.
Okay.
All right, this is my favorite one. Is Big Talk with Vince Wolfram, Jumbotron Worthy.
Oh, but that's Jumbotron regardless. Like we need to have an episode on Jumbotron. I think for a halftime show next year, we should have a live show at the 50. Forget the band. At the 50, Jumbotron, Big Talk. Yo, what's up? I'm Vince. I'm Dylan. You know what I'm saying? Big Talk.
I mean, I love that answer. That is going
So
right
my
on Big Talk.
co-host.
You'll see that post.
I was actually Vince's co-host first. Jojo just saw that we were hot. He was like, oh my gosh, you know what? It'd be great if I just took Dylan's spot. So that's what happened. So straight out of the jungle.
But the Big Talk isn't over. We've got some things in the works here, and one episode that is in the works is happens to be our next question.
Yep.
Is Jamari Johnson Jumbotron Worthy?
Yes, that boy is built real, you know what I'm saying? He built like Shane Johnson. That might be Shane Johnson's cousin.
He's strong gang.
Yeah, he is strong gang. He thinks he has aura, but he has no aura at all. But yes, Jamari Johnson, he's the greatest human being on the planet.
That's our guy.
After Aubie. I don't think Aubie's human, but
He's a real tiger.
Yeah,
true.
But he is up there, and he's separated himself. He's the definition of what I was trying to talk about. Is like, man, just meeting people. He meets everybody, and he doesn't play a sport. He's just a regular person who's at Auburn University, who is taking advantage of the opportunity that Auburn is presented. And I think every student needs to be that way.
Yeah, he's a rock star. Big Talk with JJ coming soon.
Coming soon.
Shout out JJ. I know he listens to this.
Don't shout out JJ at all. Please don't shout out JJ. Head's already big enough.
Okay, next one. Is Simo's hustle Jumbotron Worthy? Oh, we're thinking about this one.
I really gotta think about this one. Cause Simo, like in practice, y'all, Simo be running over people. Like, what y'all see in games, like, yeah, he's hustling, but like, we ran a floppy set one time, and he was guarding Presley, and Presley was coming to the right wing from the left wing, pretty much. He was just cutting through, and Simo was trying to get through, you know what I'm saying, elevator screen, pretty much. He just took 3 people down with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to take 3 people down with me if I'm Jumbotron. So I just don't know. I can't answer because he does hustle a whole lot, but he does run people over. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Simo's intent will give Jumbotron. The hustle and the execution.
Yeah, there we go.
Loading.
But Simo, you my boy though. All love.
Shout out Simo. Fifth years unite. All right. Is the SEC regular season championship Jumbotron Worthy?
You know, if we win it outright, yes. Win it outright, it sure is. If we share that junk, put it, you know what I'm saying, put it in the closet.
Our 8 p.m. tip-offs Jumbotron Worthy.
No.
Agreed.
When I'm president of Auburn University one day, we will leave the SEC if you guys put us at 8 o'clock tip-off ever again. I'm giving y'all a warning 30 years in advance. Because if y'all want to play with me in my university, we're not having it. I think the latest tip-off time should be 7. And I think the earliest should be 5. If people can't get to the game, people can't get to the game. No offense, y'all. I know y'all are hard-working 9-to-5s out there, blue-collar people. We can't do it without you. But at the end of the day, we as athletes and y'all as people don't want to be at a game. But just know I'm looking for your best interests.
Yeah, media's there until 1 a.m. anyway when that happens. So.
It'll be all right. Shout out Marmar, though.
Yeah, shout out to Marmar, the GOAT. All right, next one, Jumbotron Worthy. Is this group of people, some killers BP recruited that aren't right in the head, or are they Jumbotron?
Depends on the day. Okay. It depends on the day.
Okay.
It really does. Because, boy, you just said, you know, the people that ain't right in the head, you know what I'm saying? Tahad, CB, Miles. 2 or 3 of them are Oregon game. I just can't answer that for you because I'd be, you know what I'm saying, I would be going against my philosophy earlier.
Right.
So I can't answer that.
Okay.
You try to trick me, y'all.
Tried.
Ira Bowman's dancing skills.
Oh, most def. Put him on Jumbotron every day. I think people need to really lock in what he does. I think they just need a whole segment pregame so the fans are like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? He's really dancing out there. Because everybody's like, oh, Jumbotron. Like, no, like, whoever has the camera, they need to get a camera and put on Ira Bowman because he got the moves like Jagger.
All right, last question here. We're going to bring it home with your brother.
No.
Or Drake's TikToks, Jumbotron Worthy.
No. Short and sweet, no. And the comment section really is. And y'all really want some, the comment section of Drake's TikToks are real. You know what I mean? I need a gallon of water. That's all I'm going to say. But no. Wrong.
There we go. That's the brotherly love way to exit this.
You know
awesome.
Jumbotron Worthy?
Talk to me.
That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
The viewers out there.
There we go. That's what we were waiting on.
And Tyler
Hey.
Hansbrough.
And shout out to Tyler Hansbrough again, Field of 68 Media Network Pro. Well, Dylan, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. That Jumbotron was fun. Now we know what to expect on the Jumbotron and what is worthy in your book of a good Jumbotron
Tyler
spot.
Hansbrough, your Jumbotron Worthy.
Come on, make the trip.
Come on now.
Make the trip.
Yeah, Tyler Hansbrough, come out of Auburn. This is my pitch for Auburn. Auburn is having a great season, you know what I'm saying? We are having a very great season, and we just happen to beat your alma mater. And so with that being said, I think you need to come down, you know, to come on a trip down to Auburn University. We know we got 2 home games left. I got you a ticket for Bama, promise. Not your family though, but you know what I'm saying? If you want to come down, you got my boy Vince, you got Jojo, my boy Tyler. You and me, we're locked in, we're bigs. We get bloody, we do the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? Come to Auburn and see the show in person. Shout out Tyler Hansbrough.
The Dylan Impact Part 2. Awesome. Well, Dylan, thank you so much for sitting down with us. This is what we've got for this episode of Straight Out the Jungle, Alabama on Saturday before we head to tournament play, so it should be good stuff. But for this episode of Straight Out the Jungle, my name is Vince Wolfram.
I'm Jojo Cavanagh.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Tyler Hansbrough.